Good morning. How are you all today? Thank you for visiting with us today, and thank you for viewing these lessons, and thank God for you all participating by listening to the videos and giving me new subscribers, and I really thank the new subscribers. So welcome to Bible class with Andre and Betty. We're continuing our studies from the book of Genesis, and we're in chapter 45 today. Then we'll begin at verse 1. Then Joseph could not refrain himself before all them that stood by, and he cried, "Cause every man to go out from me." And there stood no man with him while Joseph made himself known unto his brethren. So his brothers had come to Egypt the second time to buy food. And Joseph had told them that they would not see his face unless he brought his younger brother. And when he saw Benjamin, he was so overwhelmed with joy that he cried and didn't want anybody to see him crying. So he's going to tell every man to go out. That's what it says, cause every man to go out from me. And there stood no man with him while Joseph made himself known unto his brethren. In Acts 7, verses 9 through 13, it talks about this period when the patriarchs, the 10 brothers, moved against Joseph and sold him into slavery. And that whole chapter 7 in the book of Acts is a message, a sermon from Stephen, the first deacon, filled with the Holy Spirit, and he recounts the history of Jesus coming through the line and lineage of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and then to David, unto Jesus being born in Bethlehem. And so, verse 2 says, well, let's go back to verse 1 for a minute. In Acts 7, this is the second time that Israel recognized, it's the first time, but through the second visit, that Joseph made himself known unto his brothers. Just in the same way the first time Jesus came, Israel did not recognize him. But when he comes the second time in the Revelation, they will recognize him, and they're surrendering and mourn to him, and the nation Israel, will see him and the wounds in his hand, and they will recognize him, saying, "Where did you get these wounds in your hand?" And they will say, Jesus will say, "These are the wounds that of my friends when he paid the sin debt." And they will recognize him the second time, the revelation, and Israel will be born in a day. And there's a lot of history behind that. So now the second verse And he wept aloud. He cried out loud. And the Egyptians and the house of Pharaoh heard. Verse 3, and Joseph said unto his brethren, I am Joseph. Doth my father yet live? And his brethren could not answer him, for they were troubled at his presence. And when Jesus came into the world as a babe born in Bethlehem, when Herod the king and all Jerusalem heard that the king had been brought into the world, they were troubled at the message that they heard. And so verse 4 says, and Joseph said unto his brethren, come near to me, I pray you. And they came near. And he said, I am Joseph, your brother, whom ye sold into Egypt. And that was through the Midianites and the Ishmaelites, back in chapters 37 and 38 of Genesis, verse 5. Now, therefore, Joseph says to them, be not grieved nor angry for yourselves, with yourselves, that you sold me hither or in Egypt. For God did send me ahead of you or before you to preserve life. Verse 6. For these 2 years hath the famine been in the land, and yet there are 5 years in the which there shall be neither plowing or airing nor harvest. Verse 7. And God sent me before you to preserve you a posterity in the earth, or a line of inheritance in the earth, and to save your lives by great deliverance, looking forward to the deliverance from sin that Jesus would perform. So verse 8 says, so now, this is Joseph, it was not you that sent me hither, but God. And he had made me a father to Pharaoh and Lord of all his house, and a ruler throughout all the land of Egypt. Verse 9, hurry and go up to my father and say unto him, thus saith thy son Joseph, God had made me Lord of all Egypt. Come down unto me, hurry, make haste, tarry not. Now, whenever you're going up to Canaan, where Jerusalem is, you're going up. When you leave Jerusalem or Canaan, you're going down. And so, going up to Canaan and coming back, coming down to Egypt. Verse 10, and thou shalt dwell in the land of Goshen, which is a great pasture, fruitful pasture land, and thou shalt be near unto me, you and thy children and thy children's children, and thy flocks and thy herds, and all that thou hast, all that belongs to you. The land of Goshen would not experience the 10 plagues that would come upon Pharaoh and the Egyptians in the book of Exodus. That land is protected from the plagues of Egypt. Verse 11, and in Goshen, and there will I nourish thee. For yet there are 5 years of famine, lest you and your household and all that you have come to poverty. So he's preserving a seed. The posterity will run all the way to the birth and earthly ministry of Christ. Then he says to them, and ye shall tell my father of all my glory in Egypt, and of all that ye have seen. And you shall make haste and bring down my father hither. And he fell upon his brother Benjamin's neck and wept, and Benjamin wept upon his neck. These are 2 brothers by Rachel. Moreover, he kissed all his brethren and wept upon them. And after that, his brothers, our brethren, talked with him. Verse 16. And the fame thereof was heard in Pharaoh's house, saying, Joseph's brethren are come. And it pleased Pharaoh well, and his servants. Now there were several kings, many kings in Egypt, and their title is Pharaoh. There was Pharaoh Hophra, Pharaoh Nisi, and others. Pharaoh is the title of the kings of Egypt. And just as in our country, the president is an official office, but different men govern from that office. So Pharaoh is an office of the kings of Egypt. Verse 17. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, Say unto your brethren, this do ye, lade your beast, and go, and get you into or unto the land of Canaan. Verse 18. And take your father and your families or households, and come unto me, and I will give you the good of the land of Egypt, and ye shall eat the fat of the land, or the fruit of the land. 19. Now thou art commanded, this do ye, take you wagons out of the land of Egypt for your little ones and for your wives, and bring your father and come. Also regard not your stuff, for the good of all the land of Egypt is yours. Verse 21, and the children of Israel did so. And Joseph gave them wagons according to the commandment of Pharaoh, and gave them provision for the way that is traveling back to Canaan. Verse 22. To all of them Joseph gave each man changes of garments or raiment. But to Benjamin he gave 300 pieces of silver and 5 changes of raiment or clothing. And here's the number 5 again that belongs now to Benjamin that Joseph gave him. Verse 23. And to his father he sent after this manner. He sent to Jacob after this manner. 10 asses laden with the good things of Egypt, and 10 she-asses laden with corn and bread and meat for his father by the way. Verse 24. So he sent his brethren away, and they departed. And he said unto them, see that ye fall not out by the way. Do not argue with each other as you travel back to Canaan. Verse 25. And they went up out of Egypt and came into the land of Canaan unto Jacob their father. So they went up out of Egypt, and redemption for all of us is up, out of, into. God delivered us out of darkness into his marvelous light. Verse 26. And told him, saying, they went up and told Jacob, saying, Joseph is yet alive, and he is governor over all the land of Egypt. And Jacob's heart fainted, for he believed them not. He had thought all these years Joseph was dead. Verse 27. And they told him all the words of Joseph, which he had said unto them. And when he saw the wagons which Joseph had sent to carry him, the spirit of Jacob, their father, revived or rejoiced. And Israel said, notice, Jacob, their father, revived, and Israel, his spiritual name, said, it is enough. Joseph, my son, is yet alive. I will go and see him before I die. So God is moving forward, and in history, through Joseph, the second son of Rachel, their mother, who showed during while she was dying that Benjamin is the son of sorrows, and she called him Benoni. But Jacob called Benjamin the son of my right hand. And so looking forward to the next chapters, we will see great things to come. So you all have a great day and a great week. Bye.